Mike Ackermann, the reigning king, against Riga Kalfas, and Mike will tee it up first.
Tee it up. 55 degrees out.
Can do that today. And we talk about so often you like to get that first one 10 in the pit.
Or at least close. Here, you're going to see the opening shot, jitters right here, going right straight through the heart. Head pin straight back. That's a 2-pin going to the wall. Gets a great break on down the split. He had the 4, 6, 7 for a few moments. Now, a very easy spare 4-pin.
I think he had that $750 paycheck in mind with that shot.
Really?
Yeah, that 750 comes in handy. And for you folks at home, that is exactly what our winner gets. Mike picked that up last week and would like to try to do it again this week, but as you saw in the last game, got his hands full with Mr. Riga Kalfas. You should take a look at him. First ball in the first frame.
See if we can get a strike here. Start us off to a 300 on the way to that LTD Crown Victoria that Todd Schiller from West Hills Ford has brought us today.
I'd really like to be able to give one of those away sometime soon. And that's the way you started off, at least.
Not too shabby. Split rack strike to start the match. Right lane. Again, lanes 13 and 14. We're at the northwest. We're on the extreme northwest part of town.
That makes sense.
Pretty clever title then for the establishment. Yeah, that's right.
Riga is 20 and he's engaged to a lady named Shelley Moyer. So he's going to try and get some money here, maybe buy a little present for her, hopefully. Got that, Shelley? I hope you heard that.
You can remind him of that later, right?
Shelley follows him everywhere, to every tournament. She's there, just as my wife was when we were dating. Then about 3 years into the marriage, she started staying home more. Oh. The 4-10 split. I tell you what, here we go. Let's watch how it's made. We show a lot of good shots. Let's show a lousy shot. Gets the ball too wide, too early. Straight through the head pin, straight back. Didn't get the break this time.
That left lane again, Dave, that Bill mentioned was hooking more.
A subtle difference, but there. The more experienced players can pick it up and hopefully adjust for it. The normal league player would just think he's making some sort of an error.
Ooh. Boy, he really gave it a try. And he gets a well-deserved round of applause for that effort.
And he is throwing a harder shelled ball, which means it isn't going to hook as much. Of course, Dave knows that, but I'm going to tell you that, Tom.
And a lot of the folks at home, I'm sure, don't know that as well.
That's right.
The difference in equipment as the years have gone by have just brought the game light years. The less friction surface balls, is that the term we use, are the balls that slide further down the lane, therefore delaying the hook and roll. The urethane balls are unbelievable. They will hook, they will hit, they'll do everything except guide themselves into the pocket for you, but they are fantastic, and that's what that red ball that Mike is throwing right there with the finger grips, those little yelling dudes that he just slid his fingers into. A lot of players have gone to those because it gives you a good, consistent feel on the ball.
The day they make the ball that puts it into the pocket is the day that I qualify for the show.
You need a radio-controlled ball.
You need a lot more than that.
Right back here. Let's watch this one. A crash 10 and Mike's release. Let's go for it. Is it a great shot? You bet it is. He follows through at his target perfectly. He likes it. 6-pin does not do its job. There you see it going up into the rail, around the 10. Crash 10, crucial spot. Mike still has the lead, but that would have really given him a cushion.
Dave, you talked last week, I think the phrase you used for describing Mike was a calm and very effective bowler. Just very smooth release.
Two schools of thought on that, Tommy, and one of which is to maintain a very level head and emotional state that is very consistent throughout the match. Therefore, you don't change your speed. You know, you don't get that adrenaline flowing to make you throw the ball harder or softer. On the other hand, a lot of players like to get pumped up, fired up, so that they can really go up there with some authority. We know which one Riga is.
You got that right. No denying that at all.
It's wide again. Look out. Boy, did He got a break, Tommy. We can see it right there. He got the ball too wide, too soon, hitting the dry and hooking back too soon. On the replay, we're going to see it. Now he's trying to play right around the 6th board. This ball goes out to the 3rd or 2nd board, hooks back right straight through the heart of the pins. Unbelievable break, just crashes them all down, smushes them, we might say.
Once again, I'd like to thank all of our BPA proprietors for being here today. People from Lee's Famous Recipe, Hudy and Pepsi. They're great sponsors, and they really make the show what it is.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Couldn't do it without the sponsors. We couldn't do it without you at home. We could do without Tommy once in a while, but we're going to have him here. The people on the cameras, the people on the floor, the people running the machines. It's a cast of thousands out here, I'm telling you.
You better believe it. And you can't forget one of the finest in the business, director of our show, Mr. Roy Alfers, getting a little help back there from Jesse Julius Jackson. Not to be confused with a presidential candidate, I can assure you.
I'd like to also thank Kathy Brocksterman, who's really helped me out a lot, getting me prepared to do this show. I don't think I could have done it without her.
Kathy Brocksterman, a vital part of the BPA.
Well, that took my jovial mood right down to the basement, going right straight through the head pin, leaving the 6, 7, 10. Difficult, very difficult split. What Michael's going to do is stand extremely left against the ball return. There you see him getting position. There you go. Brush up against. All right, now cross lane about the 4th arrow. 4th arrow. Slide to 6. Now ball hooked at about 30-some feet, where he did not expect it to hook, quite frankly, and that's probably why he left it.
Well, neither player really, although Riga's is working on 2 strikes. Neither player really seems to have gotten in the flow as of yet in this championship match.
Well, it's a good point, Tommy, and sometimes you really don't know why. The play is slow today. We're getting into a tempo situation where it's very difficult. It's a tempo motivated game. You go to the line at the same speed. You're geared into sitting down for X amount of seconds, and when that changes, it could potentially change your game. But Mike Ackermann comes back with a great shot.
Jennifer, how important is that, do you think? Of course, you've been our queen numerous amounts of times. How important is that to develop once you start bowling a steady pattern or rhythm?
Well, I've heard some of the best, probably David would agree with me, that when you're bowling good and you're striking, you're thinking of nothing. It just happens. You know, the more strikes that you get, the less you think. When you're not in the pocket, you're thinking, you're trying to change little things in your approach, your release.
Exactly.
So the less you think, the better you're bowling.
Well, the man who stumbles out of the gate and then sees the carrot, Riga Kalfas is now back on track, and he's just splitting the rack in half. Mike Ackermann has got his hands full. Riga Kalfas has a lead.
Well, this is probably what Jennifer just referred to. When you're striking, you don't think a whole lot, and it continues to go well. Mr. Kalfas is now
20-some
down 3 in a row.
Yeah, 20-some pins in the lead. It's comfortable, but it's not insurmountable. We've got a lot of paper left.
Better believe it. Ackermann, of course, is our champion. Had a I believe it was 258 to win it last week.
Yeah, and our average for that week was 233.
Shoot.
For the show telecast.
Oh! Boy, he is just only 20 years old, and you would think he'd been on this show 15 times.
Riga is lined up. He has the match not in hand yet, but as we can see by the score that he definitely has a lead at this point. 22 pins. Actually, since Mike hasn't struck yet, we'll call it 32. Michael strikes, it cuts back down by 10. Every time someone strikes, it's a 10-pin swing.
Try to knock down 10 of those right here. Knocks down 10 pins and 10 off the score sheet.
22 pins it is, both players with a double working. The replay will show how Michael can strike. There, 7th board, that's where he wants to be. Now the ball holds a little bit, deflects just a wee bit, 4-7-9 for just a minute, but the 4-pin going out to the right finally. 22 pins can be cut to 12 pins with one more strike here.
I'd also like to thank Michelle Brown, who is the tournament director for the BPA. She does a super job with all of Mike. She's a great lady, and you know, she just really keeps the tournaments together.
Yeah, that was a terrible shot by Mike Ackermann. A chance to get back into the match, double work, and cut the lead to 12. He got around on the ball early, Tommy, and what we mean by that is he started his wrist roll or rotation of thumb counterclockwise too soon. Got hung up in the ball just a little bit and threw the shot right through the nose. Gave it a gallant attempt to bring back that 6-7 split, but not today.
Not today.
There's Tom Murphy right there behind Mike. Well, you can't see him now, but he is from Stones Lanes. Another one of our greater Cincinnati proprietors.
And the gentleman right there putting back on his glasses, Irv Hoinke, of course.
Boy, does he know where to sit.
Boy, you got that right.
And the lovely lady and her sister, we can't see her either, but they are Sue Durking's daughters. And once again, get well, Sue.
You heard of Beauty and the Beast?
Mm-hmm.
There it was, right there.
No, Beauty and the Beast is sitting on both of my
That could have salted this match away, but not to be. The soft 7. Riga Kalfas is lined up and hitting the pocket with regularity, but Mike isn't out of it. But I'll tell you what, he really needs some help. Riga missed 1 7-pin earlier. He's made a couple since. If he makes this one, Mike will have to take it to the wall, and Riga will have to give him some more help down the line.
Well, to use your term, Dave, we are starting to run out of paper. Time running out a little bit on Riga had those 4 consecutive strikes, comes back to pick up the spare. And he leads by quite a few pins, Dave.
Well, that's right. Mike Ackermann could finish with strikes 8th, 9th, and 10th. He could finish with 210. Now, at this particular point in time, Riga is going at a 227 pace. So obviously that wouldn't quite do it, but you never know what your competitor's going to do. Mike Ackermann has one job and one job only, and that's to strike for the next 5 balls.
That's one of the things I love about this job. It's not brain surgery.
Huh?
You don't have to figure out that, you don't have to be a genius to figure out that 227 beats 210.
Yeah, I just wanted to make that perfectly clear. Well, I'll tell you what, that was a great shot in a crucial position for Riga. When he needed to put the pressure on it, you can see it on the replay. Now, that ball, he held it a little tighter. It didn't go out to 2 that time. No way. 1-2 pockets filled up. Big shot. And that was a big shot. And putting the pressure on Mike Ackermann, having to strike in the 8th, 9th, and 10th, he couldn't do it. Riga Kalfas goes on to win 176. Riga Kalfas, 217, our champion.
Last week during our untelevised Queen of Bowling, Nancy Fair shot a 625 at Northwest Lanes to become this week's top woman qualifier. Lee's Famous Recipe salutes Nancy Fair. Nancy bowls at Lasanaville Lanes.
Lee's Famous Recipe makes the best tasting chicken in town. We bake fluffy, scratch buttermilk biscuits glazed with melted butter. Taste our country fresh salads and hot vegetables. Now you can get famous with Famous Recipes Catering Hotline. Dial chicken. That's 244-2536 for great chicken and side dishes for your next party. Famous Recipes Catering Hotline. The great taste keeps you coming back.
America's choice. Kings. It's too good to be beer.
Enrich your life. Give to the Fine Arts Fund.
Welcome back to Northwest Lanes in Fairfield, and David Newrath, a new king, and you got a little cash for the man.
Piece of paper worth $750. Riga, some fantastic bowling out there today on behalf of the BPA, and what can I say? You just bowled brilliantly. We look forward to seeing you again next week. Congratulations.
Thanks very much.
All right.
A very impressive champion, had a super day. He'll be back next week, and so will we. For Jennifer Kleekamp, David Newrath, I'm Tom Brenneman saying so long, everybody.
The Greater Cincinnati BPA's Hudy King of Bowling. Brought to you by Hudy Delight, Cincinnati's own light beer and an official beer sponsor of the Greater Cincinnati Bicentennial.
This is it, Kentucky. It's built.